Good day, my loves. So, today I'm going to fill you in on the preparation for Africa. So, this will be a 3-part video um, because I wish people would have shared more. Some things I can't share, and I'll let you know when I get to those parts. But I'm going to do a video for pre-Africa. I'm going to do a video about the time I spent in Africa, and I'm going to do a video post-Africa, probably a few weeks after I get in, right, to let you know the changes I'm feeling, that I'm seeing, and so on and so forth. So, pre-Africa, one, it's a great place to go visit and enjoy yourself. Two, when you're going through an initiation in Africa, it is for your highest good. All of your highest good. This is you healing yourself, you healing your lineage, you healing generational curses, you breaking blockages, you gaining more ashe. So we all know that every one of us has gifts. You can do something yourself and it works. But then you can say, Iya, can you do this for me? And it's going to work differently because of my ashe versus your ashe. So when I speak of ashe, it's the gifts and things that we already have, the lessons that we've been through, the more we ascend. Being that I have had certain rituals done on me already, being that I have been a part of certain rituals, I've been a part of certain things, my spiritual protection is, different because of the things that I've been through. This is the only reason why I can pray and it hits different, or I can do something for you, the house cleansing, just use that as an example. I can walk you through it and you can cleanse your house, and it's going to work for you because it's your intention. I can then walk you through cleaning your house, and then I do the incantations, and then it hits different, right? The actions that we put in things and our intentions, that's one part. But the prayers is the very important piece of that. And it all depends on how much ashe you garner. So every time I go through a ritual, I gain more ashe. Through initiation, you gain more ashe, right? So these are the important things to look at with taking the oath and the step to go towards Africa, because you garnering a lot of ashe going to Africa. In preparating for this, I had been in talks of going to Africa since 2022. So I knew that I was going, but of course my spirit guides and my ancestors, they're moving with me. I hold them accountable for making sure that I did not initiate into the wrong Ile. So there was another Ile. I had been under this priestess for 4 years, just going, getting advice, getting readings, and so on and so forth. And then my spiritual husband was a part of that same Ile. So, of course, that was the Ile that they wanted me to initiate into, but I wasn't comfortable with it. I wasn't comfortable because of certain practices I had seen and some other reasons. So, lo and behold, it just never fell through for me to initiate through that Ile. There was another Ile that I was okay and I really wanted to initiate in. And, spiritual people, they're weird. That's the same Ile that my ex used to attack me, because he knew that I wanted to go through them and he didn't want me to go through them. He didn't want them gaining our shade. So when we separated, he used that Elay to do some work against me. So he knew that I wouldn't go through that Elay. Fine and dandy. And then there was Iya. And so I had known Iya, started doing work with Iya probably the end of 2020. Probably the end of 2020, I started, doing things with Iya. And as I was doing these things with Iya, I realized that I truly loved the energy with Iya. And that, here, give me a minute. Let me finish recording this. What do you want?
Grandpa said, can you put the stuff up upstairs?
I will. Go in there. And I'll be finished. Shut the door. Sorry. So when I started working with Iya, it was cool. And then I had another Dafa done. And in my Dafa, it came down that I had to, the order was on me to work with divine feminine energies. So when I tell you guys, when I tell you guys that I am only working with divine feminine energies, it's because it was an order that came down for me at this time. When they want to switch it, they'll let me know spiritually, because then they'll start sending in mails. So when that came down, I was like, huh? I don't even really, know a lot of females, and it's too emotional, and females are garnered by the energy of a male, yada yada. So I took it, I put it there. I knew what it was going to be. I didn't start really paying attention to that until maybe a year or so later. That's when the ministry was created. That's when all of the divine feminine energy came in. So when I got my first major ceremony done, I got an Odu. And so you guys got to know about these Odus. So you will be under Odus, which is the governing of your life, how you're supposed to move, how you're supposed to act, what you're not supposed to do. And you need to pretty much master that Odu as best as you can, because until you do that, you won't be able to move to the next level. So when I got my Odu, it was me working on the things that my Odu was telling me that I had to work on. And your Odu is going to be very specific to you. It's just how you can get a tarot reading done and you could be like, oh, that resonated. Well, did it truly resonate, or did you hear this reading? And, people say, oh, well, I got a reading and it was saying that I got a husband coming and I got money coming and I'm about to have a baby and I want to have this baby. That's what you want to hear. So that's what you're going to gravitate to, right? Anybody can say, oh, you got this. You be like, I knew, but it wasn't coming. But when you have an Ifa reading, it's specific to you. Even the things that you may feel like, no, that's not me. You have to stop and take accountability. And if it's not, then not yet, then it's coming. And you may not hear things that you truly like. So mine was not to fight. And I was like, I don't be fighting nobody, And I had to realize over a year's time, like, I don't physically fight, but I don't have to physically fight because my tongue is my sword, right? Queen of Swords, King of Swords. So I had to learn to turn the other cheek, try to fix things without being combative with that energy. So, but once I got into that, then it was like, okay, now I have my Elay. Now I know where I want to be. Now I know what I want to do. And it's communicating with the Elay. It's communicating with the Elay. Once you communicate with the Elay, this is what I want to do. I want to go through the initiation. You'll get a reading done. Everything is with readings in Ifa. And in this reading, they will either ask or to automatically come down. So within the time, because mind you, I said we have to do Dafa Ebo 3 to 4 times a year. Now, you can take it upon yourself to go till August and not have any DAFA and EBO done. But what that means is between August and December, you're going to have 3 to 4 DAFA and EBOs done, right? You're not going to cheat. You're not going to be devoted and go in and cheat, IFA. IFA will tell you to get DAFA and EBOs back to back if you're not spreading it out. It's the importance of spreading it out so you don't have to come up with $500 3 times back to back. And so I had another DAFA EBO done, and it came down because I was doing it in reference to, I had them check to see if I needed to if I could get a surgery to get this cyst removed. So I had already said no, and then IFA said no, so it was great. But in that reading, it came down, it was a chief that did it, actually, and he said, IFA is for you. You need to initiate into IFA. It came down. And then another reading came down and says, you need to initiate into IFA. So IFA made it very clear that that's who I had to initiate to. All of the initiations cost the same. It's just more work that are in IFA versus initiated into an Orisha, because I told you, when you initiate to IFA, you're covered to have the Ashe for all Orishas. When you initiate into a specific Orisha, you have the Ashe for that Orisha. You don't make the determination of who you initiate into. They call on you. It's the only difference. So some people that want to have that Ashe of IFA, and you may be able to find somebody to initiate you into IFA without going for that reading, but the messages, they call for you, for who you should initiate to. So be mindful of that. So I had already knew times 3 that I had to initiate into IFA. So when I told them, I was like, okay, this chief, he did the reading, it came down, this is how it goes. So they says, okay, well, we know you have to initiate to IFA. I had already had that information on hand. So they say, okay, well, you can start the process. This is what you need. So I got a list. You need your passport. I don't suggest anybody wait till last minute. You guys should already have your passports. You need your passport. Once you have your passport, you need passport photos, because you got to get a visa. In order to get a visa, you got to have passport photos. Okay. You have to go online. It's a website we send you, specific website that we send you, because there's so many visa websites out there. And you go here and you do the application online. You print it out online. You can pay for your visa. You can pay for a portion of your visa online right there. It was $160. Okay. I think I spent about $180 for my passport. And basically, when you go get your passport, if you don't have it, you can tell them to email you your passport photos. And then when you get ready to do your visa, all you have to do is just go print them out instead of having to pay the full cost. Because I think I spent close to $30 for my next set of passport photos, which is absolutely crazy. And the first time I went, I don't even think I spent that much money. And I got me and my 2 youngest kids' passports at the same time. So you need passport photos for your visa. You fill out the visa application. That's $160. Then you need a copy of your passport information page. When you go get your visa, you want to already have your copies, because if it's one little thing that you're missing copies for, they charge you $25 to print it out, or you have to leave and go back. So you want to make sure that you have all of your copies. So you do your copy of your passport information page. You have your passport photos available. You also print out the application. If you pay the $160 online, show them that you paid the $160 online. Then you just go in and you can set appointments, but for visa, the appointments are like months out. So you just basically want to walk in. If you are in Georgia, the place is in Roswell. If you are in DC, I am not sure. But for the Nigerian consulate on the East Coast, you can go. They may have one in Miami. I'm not sure, but I do know it is DC and it is Georgia. I think there's one in Texas as well. They're spread it out, so you can't go to any place to go to a DC consulate. You have to go directly to that place to get it done. For your appointment. The appointments are very fast. When you go in, you also need a copy of your bank statement. It needs to be a personal account, and you need to have at minimum $500 sitting there. I don't care if you got to pay a bill, just have $500 sitting in there, and you need to have your account number, your name, and the balance that you have. So they want to see a copy of that. And you take those things into them. They keep your passport, and then they get everything together. They do your fingerprints. They take another picture of you there. And there you would pay another, I want to say it's like $55 or something like that. And then they'll call you within a week and tell you when it's ready. You also have to pay a $50 expedited fee if you do a walk-in. So that's the thing for walk-in. So it's like another $50 for that. Then, it's in the chair. Once you do your visa, you got to have a copy of your flight, right? To show that you have a flight there and back. And you have to have an invitation letter. The invitation letter is a requirement going into Nigeria. Just because in most of Africa, but just because you're coming there, they want to know who's inviting you there, who's bringing you there, why are you coming there, and who's going to be responsible for you. The ELA, when you make the decision to go and say you're going, the ELA will give an invitation letter, and it'll give you a copy of the driver's license of the person for the invitation letter, which is generally the chief, right? So that's Baba. So you'll print that out. You'll have one copy of his ID, one copy of the invitation letter. They already know what the invitation letter needs to say. So that's how you get your tourist visa. At this time, they're giving away 5-year visas. It can change, and they'll give you, a 6-month visa, a one-time visa. So we don't have any control over that. That's the government. But because they are not giving visas to people from Nigeria to America, they are giving extended visas for the people in America to Nigeria. So 5 years. So you take all of those things there. You have to be invited. They have to know who's responsible for you. So therefore, you have no worries because somebody is responsible for you. And if you know who you're going with, okay, they actually gave their ID, they gave their name and information. So they know where you're going to be. You got your visa. Now your flights. You should want to do your flights 3 months in advance. That means that you set the intention and you have the money aside. When you get within that 90-day range to do your flights go up automatically. Okay, so at 90 days, you're looking at $1,500 and so on and so forth. So I did my flight in February, and my flight with the insurance for our flights was $2,000. Now, generally, each of you would pay $600 to cover my flight there and back. So you guys will come together because if I'm taking you, you have to cover the expenses of the person that's taking you. So each of you would pay $600 for that. Because I missed the trip that multiple people went on in October, I decided that I was just going to take EYA over there. So I had to pay for EYA full flight by myself. That was $2,000. So I spent $4,000 with good old Delta to go for me and EYA's flight there and back. Okay. So be mindful of that. You don't have to pay for anybody's full flight. There should be multiple people when we decide to go. We work very hard on it being multiple people. I'm going in March, which is off, but we generally go in the summer because people have children, or in October. It's when we generally make these runs. So with those fees, the most expensive one is your flight. With your passport and your visa, you're looking at about $500 more, right? So you're at $2,500 plus your fee for the EI. That's $600. So you're at $3,100. Okay. Your initiation is $5,000, hands down. $2,500 is to set your intent automatically. Here's my $2,500. I'm going. You have until you leave here, until right before you get ready to leave, to have your other $2,500 in. So you got a little bit of time. So mine, I paid mine up front. Like, here's the whole $5. I don't want to worry about it. I paid it all up front. You can pay, I know that I want to go next summer. You can say, okay, well, this is October this year. Here's my $2,500. I'm finna start my process for the trip in June of 2025. Okay, no problem. So you got until June, the week before we leave, to have that other $2,500 in. So don't think, oh, it's $5,000. I got to pay it up front. It's a system that we have in place for that. When $5,000 is paid, you have the main things that you need. Now you're looking at $8,100, right? You also have to have a Dafan Ebo done before leaving. Making sure that your spirit guides are on point, making sure that they're covering you on this journey. You're not going up the street, you're not going out of town, you're going out of the country. So that's another $550 for that Dafan Ebo pre-initiation, okay? Then, so you're looking at about $8,700 at this point. So your $8,700, you also want to put money in your pocket, okay? So whatever that may be, whether it be, you can take $500, you can take $300, but you have to have, some money in your pocket. You may want to buy something. You may want to get a leckage or whatever. You're going to get those things, and you can pay for them there and bring them back. You can't bring food back over here, but other things you can bring. So just say you're looking at a cool $9,200. That's everything to get there for your whole trip, and you have plenty of time to put those $9,200 together. If this is your true intent to go to Africa, you're not looking at the $9,200 because it's so spread out. You're gonna get, it's like rent. You don't look at you're paying $20,000 a year in rent because it's so spread out. You just know, okay, I got to pay rent. Same thing, right? And it's so spread out that you're able to make it happen. Once that's done, okay, on your flight, the flight is generally 11-hour flight. Okay, of course, leave room for delays. It's generally 11-hour flight. You will eat on that flight. They will feed you on that flight. They set out to feed you twice, dinner and breakfast on the flight. So you can bring, simple things, that they allow you to have on the plane, but, you will eat on the flight. When you get to Africa, we will have a ride from the airport. They come and get us. The Elay will come get us from the airport. When we get there, the Elay provides us a place to stay. The entire time that we're there, a secure place to stay on the Elay, on the compound. We get 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Keep in mind, you are not accustomed to the food in Africa. So we're going to get into the things that you need. You're not accustomed to the food in Africa. So be mindful of that. They eat everything spicy in Africa. Everything comes with a sauce, right? A spicy sauce. So you can tell them like, hey, not too spicy. You also have the leeway to go to the market. to get meat yourself. You can take a little grill, George Foreman grill or something. I was supposed to get a grill. I didn't get one yet. I may go to Walmart and get one before I leave. Who knows? But you can go get a little grill. You can go to the market and then you can grill your own meats and stuff like that if you choose, and just get the vegetables and things like that they have, the vegetables and the fruit. That is an option. But your initiation covers your room and board and 3 meals every single day. Okay. You have to go. So we get up at 6:30 in the morning here. You also go and do your prayers there. You get up in the morning and do your prayers. Now, what did I do to prepare? So yours is like 92. Mine's was more than that, of course, because I had to pay for EI's full flight. How did I prepare myself and my bags? Of course, you want to have travel size things, enough travel size things. I still brought tissue, right? I put 2 rolls of tissue in there. 2 rolls of tissue should definitely be enough. I may add one more just to be on the safe side. We'll be there for 8 days, but it's me, it's Iya. So what she don't remember to get, I have, vice versa. And then we can, leave whatever there. But travel size things, I did bring tissue. I also brought snacks, right? I also brought snacks and quick food. I brought snacks and quick food just in case, just in case they have something and I just don't feel like cooking and I can just eat something to be able to get myself over to the next day. I brought crackers, the Ritz crackers with the peanut butter and stuff like that. I got the thick noodles, not the Roman noodles, but the thick noodles that had the vegetables and all of that stuff in there. So I got several packs of those. I brought Pringles chips. Just healthy stuff. Pringles ain't really healthy, but stuff that's not too harsh on you. But if I just say, I want to forfeit my meal, I have a whole side of my bag with nothing but snacks. Okay. And sweet candies to, help me out. So I brought my own snacks. I went to the store. I bought tank tops. White tank tops. If you don't know what to wear, you can never go wrong with white. White. Okay. I brought white tank tops. I got white head wraps, and your bottoms. So I have my African print skirts and so on and so forth, but they are very, very heavy, right? The material that you get in Africa is not heavy. It's very, very thin because it's so hot. But these were made here and they're very, very heavy. So I only brought 2 of those with me. And then I got dresses, long dresses, skirts, and so on and so forth. I got that. Night clothes or whatever to sleep in, socks, and flip-flops, right? I decided that I wasn't taking any heavy type shoes. I wasn't taking any sneakers, anything like that. It's already high. 2 pair of shoes, 1 pair of flip-flops, 1 pair of sandals. The end. That's it. That was it. Pack your undies. Definitely, if you feel like, take your, your sanitary pads or your regular pads. If you feel like for any reason, if you have a cycle that's weird, take your pain medicines, take your ibuprofen or whatever it is that you take for pain meds. Make sure you have the necessities, also one of the things is oil of oregano. And then there's some other stuff that Iya has in the shop, but we take a couple drops of oil of oregano with juice, or it can be taken with water. You take that because you are not, how they have all of these restrictions and to remove parasites out of the water, this, that, and other, It's not the same in Africa. So oil of oregano will balance out and push out whatever that tries to attack your body, right? And so you want to get up and every morning, take some oil of oregano to keep you in alignment, to keep you moving, to keep you on point how you need to be. It's just that simple. So I would say, all together, But looking at about a $12,000 trip for me, 12 to 13,000 trip for me, but it was worth it. Yeah, I paid a lot of my stuff up front, but I knew, like, you know, especially after I had missed the October trip and I had just about everything done, and then it was things that was happening. So we had to revamp that October trip and then, you know, created the trip for March. So this is a long video, but you literally need to know all of these things if you want to go to Africa. And depending on what's going on, look at your flight itinerary and make sure that there's no COVID restrictions. Like, they'll generally tell you when you book, but you know, if COVID ramps back up, make sure that they are not requiring you to have a COVID test via the airlines. Because when you get your letter from the visa department, they're going to say, you need a PCR test, which is a COVID test, a pre-screening requisite. But if Delta doesn't say that you need one, then you don't need one. So you have to know that little piece there. There were some pieces that I was missing. Like, I didn't have my passport information page printed out, and then I had my business account. And so with those two things, they wouldn't let me use my business account. So I had to then print out my personal account information, and then I had to print out my passport information page. So I ended up having to pay the extra $25 right there in the Visa Center for them to print it out. Literally, send it to my email. They go in, print it out. $25. I kid you not. I kid you not. So you want to have all of these things available. You know, this video, you can stop it, you can pause it, you can write it all down. Most importantly is praying, making sure that this is what you're supposed to do, going through, you know, letting us know, hey, we want to go through this next year, next summer, because there's another trip coming up in June as well, but you still have to get your hand of Ifa and, you know, be working and at least doing Osei Ifa from your own shrine. There's things that I'm going to come back with, more shrines, another shrine that I'm coming back with when I come over here. And you know, they're pretty cool, but, yeah, we want to get these things and we want to be in tune, and we want to set the intent. I want to go to Africa. It seems like a lot, but it's not. Especially when you want it, you'll be like, let me get it done. Let me get it done. Outside of that, just like today. Today's Monday. I leave Sunday. Today, I went in Sam's Club, went to the meat store, packed the house out, you know, so that they can have things easy and available for them, because I'm not going to be here to cook full meals. But what I will be doing is cooking full meals all week. So therefore, when they want something, there's leftovers in there that they can go in and still, you know, have, because I have the seal tight containers that keeps the food fresh. So I'll be cooking all week so that they can go back. They have leftovers, and they really don't have to touch the stuff that, you know, is ready made and easy to put together until I leave here. So again, getting your house in order, getting content pushed out, making sure my warehouse is together. Still, you know, got orders coming into the warehouse, and got to make sure that stuff is together. And, you know, whatever readings that I have, this is me, and I'm doing a lot. So just imagine, this is you, and you have a job. You may have family to pull together. So it's not going to be as difficult. And mine wasn't difficult. It's just, I knew what I had to do. It's not going to be difficult for you to pull together at all. I'm here every step of the way for any questions that you guys may have in reference to your initiation, in reference to what you need to get, and so on and so forth. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up, because that's everything that I think that I can remember. And there was a lot. The next video will be my stay in Africa. And then, you know, we'll go over that. And then I'll do one post Africa, giving myself some time, because I have to take in a lot of medicine when I'm there. And our medicine is not the medicine here. Our medicine is herbs. Our medicine is accouché, powders that have been prayed over deeply, and so on and so forth. It's not the white people medicine. It's earthly medicine that we take. And you would not think, if you've ever done any type of drug in your life, whether that's smoke, weed, whatever, you've done and had a high, it would amaze you that they can give herbs in a prayer. Incantation is a prayer set for that herb, and you can be high as Cooter Brown. And it shows you where these people get that from, because these herbs and these prayers, they've been around before all of this. And you have a nice high just on herbs. So, balancing out, getting myself together, it's always like a physical or appeasement. You get high. You get high on a physical or appeasement. So I look forward to the next video, sharing this stuff with you guys. I'm fully packed, geared up, and until the next video. Peace.